though the practices of astrology and astronomy has common roots, there is an important distinction in astrology versus astronomy today. So astronomy is the study of the universe and its content outside of the Earth's atmosphere. Astronomers examine the positions, motions, and properties of celestial objects. Astrology attempts to study how those positions, motions, and properties affect people and events on Earth. For several millennia, the desire to improve astrological predictions was one of the main motivations for astronomical observations and theories. In my notes, I have given you a very, very ancient picture which speaks that astronomers actually started observing the motions of these planets or positions of the planets and seeing that what are they doing. So you should actually see the illustration is by Ptolemy, and it is known as the Ptolemaic. Astrology versus astronomy. Astrology continued to be a part of mainstream science until the late 1600s, when Isaac Newton demonstrated some of the physical processes by which celestial bodies affect each other. In doing so, he showed that the same laws that make, say, an apple fall from a tree also apply to the motions of the celestial sphere. Since then, astronomy has evolved into a completely separate field, where predictions about celestial phenomena are made and tested using the scientific method. In contrast, astrology is now regarded as a pastime and pseudoscience, though thousands of people around the world still invoke advice from astrologers and astrology publications in making important professional, medical, and personal experiences. Today, things are different. The way I see it, they're different. And actually, if you understand astrology, which talks about planets, the cause, and human beings, what effect they have on these human beings, the cause and effect. While every good astrologer is also an astronomer to some extent, the opposite is far from true. Most astronomers do not hesitate to attack astrology. And those few astronomers who have a sneaking regard for astrology mostly keep their feelings to themselves. When one British astronomer dared a few years ago to write a book suggesting how the planets might affect the Earth, his colleagues refused to speak to him for several months. So see, sometimes out of fear, we don't want to break that dogma. But we need to come out with our findings. We need to let people know that this is what you feel. But he was actually outcasted. This British astronomer was outcasted. In fact, astrologers of the past had a motto, which they sometimes printed in front of their textbooks. The stars incline, they do not compel. In other words, under the influence of the planets, ancient astrologers called them stars, you may feel tired, but that planetary influence cannot force you to drive your car, fall asleep at the wheel, and crash in a motorway embankment. The planets forewarned, and that is being forearmed. So in my scheme of things and my astrology or interpretation of astrology is that you can actually be a creator of your own prophecies rather than live predictions, because the planets incline, they never compel. They forewarn, and that is being forearmed.